You're listening to Alaska Matters Radio. I'm Christopher Story, your host for Great Adventures in the Last Frontier. Time for a new segment we're calling Your Money. That's right. When the public sector gets a hold of your money, that's what happens to it. Don't kid yourself.
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. You play the guitar on MTV. That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free.
Yeah, money for nothing. That's right. That's what happens. When you turn money over to the public sector from the private sector, that is exactly what happens to it. Now, I've got a new revelation about the bathrooms. We're calling this Stinkgate. Stinkgate update in just a moment. First, let me draw your attention to where I was going at the second half of the first part of the program. And what I was saying was, Catch a Kids program is brought to you by the Kachemak Board of Realtors. And Tiffany Story and myself, and along with Deborah Lysick, the president of the Board of Realtors, we've been working on this hand in hand. And a lot of people, a lot of good people in the organization are working on this. And what we're doing is we're asking for people to donate blankets right now. That's what we find there. We've got our bags figured out. And what we're doing is creating a bag that when a child enters the foster system, they are moved sometimes from facility to home, back to facility to another home, maybe back to their home and then back into a foster home or maybe elsewhere. We don't know. And what we thought was, why not create something that is of value of their own? Each child will get one of these bags, and in it will be art supplies, toiletries, a toy, a cuddleable toy, a blanket, and these kinds of. So we're putting together 55 of these bags, and Tiffany's already ordered the bags, so those are coming. Deborah Lysick and the crew at Bay Realty have been collecting toys like crazy, and we've been collecting money from organizations that want to partner with the Kachemak Board of Realtors, like the Lions Club. They just said, where do we make the check payable to? We want to participate. The community's coming together because charity comes from the heart, not the government, truly. And this is a real cooperation. This is something you hear Ken Kasner talk about a lot in Home Rule, government and private cooperating. And this is a great example of that, of us coming together with the public sector and the private sector cooperating. And that's why I take such offense at people damning capitalism, because it's just wrong. Here we are reaching out to the community and offering an open hand and a gift in that hand. What I'm asking of you, and a way you can participate in this, and I think it would be really terrific if you did, and you just feel great about it, is to donate a blanket. We need blankets right now. That's what we need. We've fairly well got the toys under control. We've got the bags under control. A local dentist, of which I'll provide the name as soon as I know who it was, delivered a bunch of toiletries for us. We're gathering a lot of these things. What we need from you, if you know somebody who quilts or is I guess a seamstress, the wrong word, a sewer, somebody who makes blankets, works with fabrics, would you be willing to make some small blankets, or your group or your church or your organization come together and create some blankets that we can put? We need 55. We've got a few, but we need a lot more. So if you're willing or able to help us, we'd sincerely appreciate that and put them to good work and good use in these Catch a Kid bags through the Kachemak Board of Realtors. So I want to thank Tiffany Story and Deborah Lysick and everybody else that's helping out with this program. It's just fantastic. And do yourself a favor. Mike Dye and myself, we wrote a piece in the Homer Tribune last week called Profit and Loss. Profit and Loss. And it's all about small business. And I want to read just a small quote to you and help you understand why do I harsh on, as I've been told, the public sector so often in city spending, government spending in general, waste in the public sector. And this is one of the reasons. Listen to this. This is about midway down the article. It says, if you have ever been through a long winter without enough firewood, meat in the freezer, or access to either, you understand the plight of the small business person. You see, profits are the applause for going through the loss phase that every business faces at some point. But profits can be temporary and must be stored up like firewood, for that cold night will surely come. You never really know how long it's going to last. For some, the loss phases can last through the winter. For others, the winter can last for years. That is why I object wholeheartedly to people castigating capitalism, number one, because you are capitalist. We are what makes the country run. We are what makes this community run relative to taxes being paid. taxes being paid. So the question is, what role do you want your government to play in your life? What role shall your government play in your life? Now, right now, when you think about Homer and spending money, this comes to mind, at least comes to my mind.
It's expensive to live in Homer. There's no doubt about it. You know, you need to have a good job to make it here. And as much as I would love to say it's, you know, we can make it cheaper, we can make it better, that's just not going to happen. It's an expensive place, and, you know, you just have to live with it. I'm sorry, but that's the way that it is, and I'll shut up now before I put my foot in my mouth a second time.
Okay, that is Homer City Councilman David Lewis. Now, here's another example of, this is an assemblyman. This is Assemblyman Smith on federal spending.
If the state doesn't participate, it doesn't mean that the federal government doesn't spend the money. It just goes to another state. So I would hope to get some support for this. We're going to take that message to Juneau.
All right. So basically, what have I just given you? I've given you two examples of the way your public sector refers to your money, your tax money. They don't have any respect for it because on the one hand, you're told you're not spending enough. You're not paying enough. It's expensive to live here. Tough. Suck it up. Get used to it. There's nothing we can do about it. And then on the other hand, you hear somebody saying, hey, we need to go to Juneau and convince Governor Parnell and his administration that they need to expand Medicaid coverage here in Alaska because, after all, these are federal dollars that are going to get spent somewhere. They might as well get spent here. Never mind that we could reduce the deficit. Never mind we could reduce taxation overall. That's never discussed, right? It's always you need to spend more, and we need to get more of what's coming to us. We need to get more of that federal tax money. Well, what about maybe just not spending so much? For example, on a local level here in Homer, Alaska, $200,000 spent on a bathroom on Pioneer Avenue, 239 West Pioneer Avenue. Okay, Chris, we've discussed this before. Why are you bringing it up again? And secondly, why are you talking in the third person? I don't know. So we spent $200,000 on this bathroom, and you were told by your city manager and council that this is tax dollars coming from the cruise ship. This isn't your tax dollars. This isn't sales tax dollars. This isn't your money. This is money coming from the cruise ship passengers. All right, let's set that argument aside on its face, and we will so stipulate this is tax money coming with a caveat from the cruise ship industry that we must spend it on tourist-related infrastructure, etc. All right, fine. So stipulated. Where did we get the land? At 239 West Pioneer Avenue. Where did we get that land? Is that just something that the city had already owned for a long time? Is that just a piece of land that maybe somebody donated that land? Did Tony Neal donate that land too, or did he just donate the piece that is down by Beluga Lake that we then took him to court over? Did he not? No, I'm being told no, he did not donate. Okay, at 239 West Pioneer Avenue, apparently it was not donated to the city. Well, then we must have got it from somewhere. Did we use eminent domain? Did we just procure the land for free and take it from the private sector? No? I'm being told that's not the case either. Well, I know. I remember what happened. In October of 2012, a little over a year ago, you purchased that land. Yeah, you did. You purchased the land on which now a $200,000 bathroom is sitting. Two-stall bathroom, by the way. The average price of a home in America, $199,000. In Homer, Alaska, somewhere just north of $200,000, average price of a home. And here is your two-stall bathroom, $200,000. That's all old ground. We've covered that. Where did we get the money, and how much did we spend on the lot that is sitting under the bathroom? It's 11,761 square feet. Where did we get the money? Now, originally when that lot went on the market, it was privately owned. So A, it's on the tax rolls, and B, it's in the private hands. Did the city really need it? Here's where the gap is, and I'm going to find out. Why did we acquire it? What was the impetus? So we'll have to go read the minutes. We'll have to dig into this and figure out exactly why the acquisition was made. But the asking price when it first went on the market was $95,000. At some point, the asking price became $125,000, and your city went in strong and negotiated down to $106,000. That's a mere $11,000 over the original asking price. Wow. I don't want them negotiating for me. Let me just put it that way. $95,000, the original asking price. The city spent your money at $106,000, $11,000 over asking price, the original asking price, to purchase the lot on which your new two-stall bathroom is sitting. That's $9 per square foot. $9 per square foot. Now, you may be saying, Chris, well, that's the average going rate, right? I mean, maybe that's just what it costs to own a piece of land on Pioneer Avenue. And maybe, folks, this is what I don't know. Maybe there's some impetus behind this. Maybe there's something behind buying this, and it just so happened that, hey, we'll stick the bathroom there. I'm not saying it was purchased specifically or solely for the bathroom. I don't know. But I do want to say it was purchased for $9 per square foot in October of 2012. Over the original asking price of $11,000 over the original asking price. I don't know about you. This blew my mind. I had to go back and do hours of research to make sure that what I'm bringing you is factual. I followed the deeds. I followed the public records, the DNR sites. I went to the Homer News. I did everything I could possibly do to discover when it was advertised, where it was advertised, how much they'd been asking, and what ultimately the sales price was. It's all public information, $106,000. Now, again, back to our story. What about the lot next door? Maybe if only we could come up with a comparable. Maybe next door had sold recently. Guess what? It did. 1.57 acres, 68,000 square feet roughly, sold for, this is where I need to have the drum roll sound effect queued up. Just in your mind, do a drum roll real quick. Ready? Go. Drum roll. Less than $3 per square foot. Your city spent $9 per square foot with your money. A private individual spent less than $3 per square foot of his own money. When you're spending your money, you're frugal with it. You make wise investments. 3 times spent in the public sector than the private, next door to each other. I could not think of a more classic example. We'll delve into this and much, much more coming up on Alaska Matters Radio.
America the Beautiful.